Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Mandy. We're going to do hopefully a bloom today. I don't know why I'm trying to do a big bloom when some of my smaller blooms have not been awesome lately, but I want to show you some new Prizm Pour colors. And I noticed my cell activator is a little bit thick for a bloom, so I'm just going to add a little bit of Australian Floetrol to it. I'll be right back. All right, let me get my little light. I forgot to get it over here. So we're going to do a 12-inch cradled wood round today. I did prime just the top. I didn't prime the sides and the bottom like I usually do. But I want to show you these new Prizm Pour colors. They're not out quite yet, but when this video goes out, they might be. So I want to show them to you so when they come out, you'll already know what they look like. Now, some of them I used when I had a sample. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to try to do a bloom that's a little bit different today, because I've used some of them in a negative space swipe. But I want to show you the colors. One of them has basically just been rebottled, which is Chantilly lace, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous white. But the formula just gets better and better and better for the Prizm Pour. So you might notice on the Colourarte website that not all of the colors are showing. Well, a lot of that's because the formula is being improved upon. So without further ado, let me show you the other colors, and I'm going to try to incorporate all of them in this bloom. This one is probably one of my favorites of all of these new colors. It's called Violet Rose. And just look at it, it's so pretty. So pretty. I love it. And then this one is another one of my favorites. It's called Peach Dahlia. And I love a nice peach color, so I really like it. And this one is called Royal Sapphire. This is another favorite of mine because I like teal and turquoise in any way it comes. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful color. I love it. And this one is Pink Diamond. It's beautiful. And you can't even begin to capture the sparkle on camera, and unfortunately it's so hard to show it to you. And I really, really love this one. Of course, I say that about a lot of them. This one is called Neptune's Gaze. It's really pretty. And what's fun is some of these colors will be available in these adorable little 2-ounce bottles. So if you want to try them or give them to a friend as a gift, this is a great way for someone to try out the new Prizm Pour. So I'm very excited to share them with you. I am going to use a black pillow today for a couple reasons. For one, I've used some of these colors on a negative space swipe, and sometimes obviously a bloom is far different than a negative space swipe, but I like to see how these colors pop on a black background. Another reason is I haven't done a black background in a while. And another reason is my blooms lately have been a little frustrating. And a black pillow, for some reason, even if you have a less than wonderful blowout, is just for some reason more forgiving. So I figured, let's give it a shot. The other reason is, if you follow my channel, you might know that I've mixed up a couple of my primary elements recently. I mixed them up and they're a little thin, and I can thicken them up, but I thought, why not take some of those that are a little bit thin and do a swirly background with them. So we're going to try that. I just need to make sure that I have enough pillow paint. So my black pillow paint is black onyx from Walmart Color Place. It's a satin finish, and it works great for me. A lot of people use tricorn black from Sherwin-Williams, which also works well, but it's hard to get color to go right now. And honestly, this one is a little cheaper. I don't have the bubble issues with this one. I don't have them with Sherwin-Williams either. But it just works great for me. So if it's not broken, right? So let me zoom you. Actually, you're probably okay where you are. I was going to zoom you out a little bit. So the color I'm going to swoosh around first is called Purplelicious. Let me show it to you. It's part of the most recent Primary Elements set, Summer Sequins. And it's so pretty. It's just a beautiful purple. So this is probably not super thin, but if you can see my consistency, if I use a thicker cell activator, which I kind of do, a consistency this thin sometimes won't hold its shape. So I thought to myself, what a fun time to try swirling around a puddle. I've only done this once and it was somewhat successful, and I did it on a black pillow. So I'm going to try it again. I figured we could play around, and even if my blowing out of the bloom isn't the most wonderful, the color will be beautiful. So I'm just going to put a pretty nice puddle on here. And I'm not very skilled yet with using this palette knife. Just some of these people who do the swirly swipes, which are really cool looking, I'm not that great at those. Maybe because I haven't tried that many times. But they will just, they'll load their colors and put their cell activator down and swoosh it, let it swirl around. I'm not that skilled yet at that, so I am still trying to kind of grow in my ability to do this. So be patient with me as I figure this out. I may have to do it a couple times. And what ends up happening, even if you don't get a very perfect start, is it becomes one of your puddle colors for your bloom. But I'm going to give it one more go. I'm just cleaning off the knife. It's a really pretty color. And I have a lot still left in the middle, so I'm just going to kind of go again. Sorry, I'm concentrating. Okay, that's okay. Not perfect. I still have a lot in the middle. But I think at the risk of not overworking it, we're going to let that go. My hope is that it will create some negative space in the bloom where that color will peek through. I'm not sure if that's actually how that's going to work out or not. So last time I did it, I didn't really leave a lot of negative space, so it showed, but it showed like it was part of the bloom. So either way is fine with me. It also helped me spread out the pillow paint a little bit. So I'm just wiping off my knife, and then we'll lay down our colors. So thank you guys for always joining in on my crazy practicing experiments and all of that. I have a lot of paint down there. I kind of am tempted to do it one more time. I just said I wasn't going to do that, right? But here I am going for it again. I better not do that. Here we are, just doing it again anyway. Because there's really not too much of a way that you can mess that up. You know, I just clean my knife and I got to do it all over again. But you get the idea. That's kind of what we're going for. Now we don't have the sides covered 100% on both sides, or all sides. I'm just gonna, whoa, open it up a little bit. Well, I opened it up a lot. So let me recenter it. So that actually ended up being pretty effective, huh? I'm gonna cover the sides that are not covered since I obviously have too much paint down here. and my hands are covered in black paint. So, you know, I'm used to my really thick white pillow, and it takes a lot more to move it around than it did that. So, so that's kind of fun when you're trying new things, right? Make a huge mess. Okay, so the one time I did this, I'll try to remember the video and link it below if I remember, but I used fluorescent violet. I mixed my own base color that was kind of a bluish purple using boysenberry and chalcedony, and I'm trying to remember what other color. And I kind of did what I just did here. And then I laid down fluorescent violet from Liquitex Gouache and Crimson Lust, I believe, from Colourarte. And I think it had some golden honey in there. So there was a few beautiful colors, and I really liked the way it turned out. Even though it didn't quite work out like I wanted it to, but I'm kind of used to that. Okay, so the first color I'm going to put down is Deep Sea, which is a global paint. I got this from Pixel Paint Designs. Look how dirty my hands are already. Gross. Don't forget you can save 20% off of anything on the Colourarte website using my code, Mandy1120, all lowercase. Sorry, my voice is cracking. I'm not sure why. And you can also save 20% off anything on the Pixel Paint Designs website using Mandy15 in all caps. So don't forget to take advantage of those discount codes if you're shopping. I also get my Boom Gel there and my Australian Floetrol from there. So, and of course on Colourarte you can get primary elements, you can get resin pigments, you can get a lot of other things other than just the new Prizm Pour, but the new Prizm Pour is going to be so fun to use. Okay, so the next color, excuse my sniffles, I'm going to put down is Pink Diamond. So pretty. So very pretty. All right, and then I'm going to put these out of the way as I go along. Now I think I'll put a little Chantilly lace on top of the pink. So pretty. I believe this little set is going to be called a Beach Bouquet, because this is like if somebody got married on the beach, this is kind of the colors you might see in their bouquet. So that's cute, right? All right, now I'm going to put Royal Sapphire. I love this color. Oh, gross, I have a blobby in here. I don't know that was the best way to get it out either. It's still there. Hold on just a second. Where's my handy dandy tweezers? There we go. I never get tired of turquoise and teal. They're always favorites of mine. I have them in so many different shades, and I'm not at all sorry about it. All right, Peach Dahlia. So pretty. And tempted to put more of that on because I love it so much. And this is Violet Rose. I'm putting this one toward the top because it's not the same color, but it's kind of in a similar color family as the Purplelicious, so I don't want them to be perfectly close together, you know? Even though when we blow it out, we can't really control that. And then this is Neptune's Gaze. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. I love this color. And what I am gonna do right close to the top is drizzle a little Golden Honey, which is another Prizm Pour color. It's like a light, beautiful gold. It's a little bit thick because it's been mixed up for a while, so I'm gonna thin it down just a little bit. Just because I don't want it to hold up our bloom movement. I'm just gonna drizzle it just a little bit. And I thought about putting some white right underneath my cell activator. I like the cells that creates. So if I do that, I think what I will do is put a little bit of this deep sea right on the top, then put a little bit of white, and then our cell activator. So this, just a little bit. So I like to put a solid paint at the top under the cell activator most of the time. Not 100% of the time, but this is just titanium white, and when I say a little bit, I mean just a little bit. It's not cell activator, it's just paint. Okay. All right, I'm gonna use a blue-black cell activator, which is Atelier. It's a heavy body Atelier Interactive. It's one of my favorite cell activators. The only thing is it is a little temperamental because it's a heavy body paint. So I start off mixing 3 parts Australian Floetrol to 1 part paint, but usually I have to thin it down a little bit with another part, but you really just kind of have to eyeball it. There's no way to perfectly know which is going to be which. So I'm going to get my head right in the way. That's why you kind of have to go with consistencies, you know? I'm going to get my head right in the way. I'm just going to open it up a little bit, and then I'm going to hit it with the hairdryer. Let me move this out of the way. I have stuff everywhere over here. Whew, my hair is going to get in the paint. Just want to open it up a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to get my hairdryer, and while it's sort of opened up, I'm going to hopefully catch it. Okay, other than being off center, that wasn't terrible. I'm finding, since I've started to go a little bit bigger, that sometimes when I go smaller thinking it's going to be easy peasy, it's not. I did go down into the pillow right here, which is a major bummer. So I'm going to see if it doesn't collect back. Let's see. I'm going to just try to break up the surface tension right here. Again, the good thing about a black pillow is even if that peeks through, it's so sparkly looking everywhere else, it's almost like you can kind of get away with it. So I'm just going to pop a couple bubbles. I want to let the center come back before I try to tilt it this way. My cell activator was definitely still a little thick, but it worked pretty well in most places. So I'm just taking a turkey baster and I'm gently blowing through, trying to break the surface tension just a little bit, let those cells come through. Very gently, not hard puffs at all. I think I blew down a little bit too much. So the part that I'm kind of nervous about is right here where the pillow's showing. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's right here. So if nothing else, I'm going to try to kind of bring some of the petals in. But first, I'm going to try to expand a couple places. I'm going to see how well it's moving. It's moving a little bit. The center is not moving. So we have a little bit of wiggle room. But if we move it too much, it'll get kind of wonky looking. We are going to have some issues with the cells kind of not being as uniform on this side. So this is probably where we're going to do most of our embellishing. I'm going to get in the way and try to blow this up a little bit. Okay. That wasn't very successful. Okay. Work on the surface tension a little bit. Unfortunately, most of that in the center doesn't have as much paint underneath because I blew a little too hard in the center. That's why we practice. I'm still trying to get used to that. So let's see. So we have this cool background. I helped this a little bit. I love the colors. I love how that little touch of gold kind of looks like a pastel yellow. That's pretty neat looking. So I'm gonna kind of mess with this a little bit. Let's see, let's go over here. In parts of this where we don't have a lot of lacing, I'm just going to kind of bring some little curlies and lines in there so it still looks okay, you know. Add a little bit of detail to it. And this right here, just going to kind of extend this. And this right here, I really like the color here, but we do have some places where we don't have a lot of lacing. So just trying to make sense of it here. And then over here we do have some good cells, but when I tilted it to try to cover where we didn't, my cells got wonky. So I'm not sure if they're going to spin out very well or not. We'll find out shortly. I'm hoping that gravity will kind of take them and they'll spin back out, but we definitely have a bit of an off-center bloom situation. So I may be better off just kind of leaving that here. It's kind of wonky looking. What do you think of this? It's kind of off-center. Okay, I guess we might have to spin it out and see what happens. Might try that. And then all right, we're just gonna spin it and go for it and kind of see what happens. It's not gonna be perfectly centered, but I'm hoping that gravity will bring some of those cells back how they started. It did help a little bit. They're still a little wonky, but the places where we embellished kind of make this okay. The center is not gonna be in the center, and that's okay. Like a perfectly centered bloom is not always the only end result, but man, these colors are so pretty. So I'm gonna spin it again. Still have a little bit of paint on here, but the background really kind of makes it work, and the couple places we swirled it helps a lot. Ooh, that was probably too hard of a spin, especially because I have no puppy pool to catch this paint. I really like it. I mean, like I said, I've been having some challenges with my blowouts lately, and it makes me want to like just do swipes. But that doesn't make me better, and so this is me practicing, even though I knew there was a very good chance it would not turn out perfectly. But again, on a black pillow, almost any shimmery, sparkly, delicious color can cover a lot of issues. There's some globbies right here. I really like it. So let me clean my hands off. I want to make sure we have enough paint off of here. Clean my hands off and I'll bring you in for a close-up. What do you think, sweetie? All right. Just making sure we get enough off of there. I think the colors look super cool together. My center is kind of crazy, and I do have some wobbly cells, but if you look at the whole thing and maybe you don't do the bloom technique and you don't know what you were going for, like if I wasn't doing blooms, I would think this was magical. So sometimes we as artists have to remember that not everybody knows what you're trying to create. They just know what they see. So sometimes we have to learn to not be so picky while we're learning and practicing. I know I do. I'm like super hard on myself sometimes. So let me know what you think. I want to know how you love the new colors. I think they look so pretty here. And while this is not a perfect blowout, I do think I'm learning that sometimes the bigger pieces have a bigger target of cell activators, so it's a little bit easier to manipulate it. I just need to spend time being consistent and practicing it. I think what kills me is wood rounds are kind of expensive, and so I absolutely hate the idea that I'm wasting a wood round if the piece doesn't turn out like I want. But that's why you do what you do, right? So let me clean off and I will be right back. I still have a lot of paint coming down the sides, so I'm trying to make sure that we do in fact have enough off of here. The good thing is the black paint is a little bit more oily and it takes a little bit longer to dry, so there's less of a chance of it cracking if there's too much left on. But yeah, I'm very happy with the colors. I'm very happy with the outcome, even though it's not perfect. So let me bring you down so you can see it. Be right back. Okay, everybody, so here's our close-up. You can see what a mess I made in the background. My goodness. So some of my favorite parts are this right here, where it has really beautiful lacing and we embellished it a little bit. Here is where I messed up and blew into the pillow, but I think when it dries, it won't be that big of a deal. And then this is another one of my favorite parts, except for where I tried to tilt it and the center didn't move, so I have the squiggly cells, but I love this right here. That's beautiful. And I love this right here, Look at all those colors. I love the way that little touch of gold looks like I added yellow. It's so cool looking. And I think that little swirly part is really cool looking. The center is less than perfect. We still have a lot of cell activator in the middle because it got kind of stuck the way I blew it. But if you look at the whole thing and don't just focus on that part, I think it's really pretty. You may hear some water running. Someone's taking a shower nearby in the house. But I like this part where we have kind of the ribbons of color. I love the way the colors play together. Just look at the shimmer in these colors. Look at that. And we only used really one tube paint color or one regular paint color and that tiny bit of white, which you can hardly even tell we used it. But look at all that color, and here's our background we created. So in the negative space, we have that Purplelicious color. There's some black peeking through in some places, which kind of makes this little snafu okay. But that Purplelicious color is peeking through in the background, and it complements the colors we used really well, so I like it. If I were to hang it up, how would I hang it up? I think I would probably go this orientation or this orientation for me personally. Curious what y'all think. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I know that it's not a perfect bloom, but considering I have had some challenges blowing my blooms out lately, I'm still happy with it, and it tells me I need to practice these 12-inch ones a little bit more often. Plus, I thinned out my cell activator a little bit in advance, and I don't feel like I got the same coverage that I'm sort of used to with this one, so it's just kind of a trial and error for me, you know? But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you don't already subscribe, love for you to join and be part of our fun experiments. Don't forget about the discount codes in the description box below. And my Fluid Art Friends Facebook group link is also in the description box below. Love to have you join there as well. Anyway, I appreciate everyone's support. Please let me know what you think, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Please stay safe. Take care. Bye.